Woo! We are live. Welcome back to another BRAP rant. Got a lot to talk about today. Can always count on Microsoft to make things interesting as it relates to gaming news. So in a matter of 8 hours? So let's see. We're gonna get into that here in a little bit. Basically, I want to do a BRAP rant about Xbox's attempt to increase Xbox Live Gold by actually doubling the price. And what's up, lady? She says, "Can't we all just get along?" We are getting along. It's great, as Mooch would say. But I'm also going to pose the question: is it time for new leadership at Xbox with yesterday's events? And I got my man Kratos, J-Dub in the house with me. We're going to get into this topic, but let's go ahead and get the show started right now. Buenos dias, everyone, and what is up, J-Dub? Welcome back to BRAP, sir.
What is good? What is good? What is good?
You know, J-Dub, back, man. Oh, it's great to have you back, man. I always refer to you, J-Dub, as the king of roasting. Because you really, dude, you let me tell you something, man. Your roast game is on a different level, man. Like God tier. It's that good. And the receipts you pull, it's like when I type stuff, I'm like, man, I better be careful. Jay might be watching. He might pull receipts on me. He might pull receipts on BRAP one day. I never know.
So, hey, man, listen, the receipts stay stacked. They stay ready. So, you know.
No doubt. No doubt. Big shout out again to everyone in the live chat. Please hit that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing. Hit the bell notification so you're notified when we go live. By the way, if you didn't get a chance to check out last night's Crossfire on Mooch's channel, great show. We had the Ash and Luca. We had Lady who's in the live chat, and we had Erica Cuts for the win, and Supernova, Gaming Forte, myself. Great show. Talked a lot about the Xbox Live Gold increase or Xbox Live Gold price increase. And actually, I think maybe an hour after we went off air, Xbox reversed their decision. But so Jay, so let's talk a little. I think at this point, most people know kind of what happened. Microsoft, for whatever reason, thought it was a good idea to double the subscription price of Xbox Live Gold from $60 to $120.
What? That happened?
Yeah, what? Yeah, right?
Oh,
like,
man.
So, Jay, my thought on this is okay. First of all, and I'm going to quote my man, One Bad Mother, because we've been talking about this. Mm-hmm. He said that, that this is really kind of showed a lack of respect for your customer's intelligence while taking away their options. Right now, obviously, it didn't impact current subscribers, but that's not the point. I saw people, it doesn't, it doesn't impact you if you already subscribed, just new customers. Well, why would you do that to a new customer?
Yeah, you're supposed to be enticing new customers.
Yeah. Well, they're enticing them. They're enticing them to go to, let's keep it real, man. They were trying to tunnel people into Game Pass.
Yeah.
I mean, if right?
I mean, I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that's obviously that's their ultimate goal, right? Xbox is Game Pass now. So you're right. And there was more ways to do that than the way that they did it. You could say, hey, look, guys, Xbox Live is going away. And now we're only going to have Game Pass. We'll keep it the same price. And basically just fold Game Pass fold live inside of Game Pass, get rid of live. But you do have a lot of customers who don't care for Game Pass. They just want to pay for their live to be able to play Madden or 2K or something like that with their friends, casual gamers, and they just want that capability. And that's it. They don't care about any of the other stuff.
Yeah. No.
And
Yeah.
and there, I know there are going to be some people who say, "Well, you could just get Game Pass and still do the same thing." It's like, yeah, but you're still forcing somebody to do something that they don't want to do. And I think Microsoft needs to come up with a proper messaging on it and just lay their cards on the line and just say, hey guys, this is where we're going. This is what it is. We're going to drop this. We're going to make it comparable and, be honest with the people. But if you just wake up one day and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're going to double the price. And on top of that, we still have the games. I mean, I don't know. Enrique. This was their call.
Yeah.
Somebody up in management, and it wasn't a little guy. It was probably the head guy in charge of the gaming division, Phil Spencer. He probably thought it was a good idea. Hey, we'll just go ahead and double the price and call it a day and go home for the day. And that didn't work out as planned. There was a lot of outrage, rightfully so. And we ended up to where, they decided to repeal the decision. But the damage is done. The damage is done. That goodwill that Microsoft had built up for the last couple of years as being pro-consumer and what I'm saying, for the gamers and all that stuff that guys kind of throw out there. It's a lot of that for some people have been eroded away because they see. Now, granted, all of these corporations, right? They're about the money. It's not exclusive to Microsoft, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just how you go about doing that. And this kind of reminds me, and I'm going to relate this to this one incident where this guy, he bought a pharmaceutical company. These guys make, I think it was diabetes medicine or something like that. And so he took over the company. He instantly jacked up the price like 1,200%, and he was okay with it. He didn't feel any remorse or anything. They eventually, locked that guy in jail and
I remember that.
But
I do remember that. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? But it just shows you how there's no remorse. You're just gonna double the price of it, and on top of that, the paywall. I mean, the free to play paywall was up there, right? So kids like my kids can't play Fortnite and some other free-to-play games that they play, like Roblox, can't play it for free. And they have to pay $60, originally $60 a year, but now it's going to be $120 a year. It's just, I don't know. But someone made that decision. Microsoft, they're taking their beating. They took the beating for that, and they have to deal with it.
Absolutely. Well said, Jay. And I want to make a quick introduction to the legend himself. He is the biggest X-bot you'll ever meet. Waves his green flag, Mr. Optimus Code. What's up, bot code?
Yeah, microphone check 1, 2. What is this, man? What's up, Jay? How you doing, brother?
Jay, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great. Glad you're in the house, man. Glad you're in the house.
Man, I'm just sitting back listening to you break it down. I don't even know why he got me on here, man. Don't nothing else need to be said.
I wanted to get an X-bot perspective on this, Code. That's why I had you on, man.
Yeah.
Because
hey, you can't have no ponies on here trying to rationalize and make sense of this stuff.
See, that's the thing, man, Enrique. Yeah. And like Jay will tell you, because we've gone round and round about Game Pass. I can never be fully accepted into the PlayStation Nation because I refuse to hate on Game Pass. I think
it's not.
And I want to change my own batteries. And so they will never accept me. Those two things will forever keep me out, and I'm not changing my mind on that stuff. So
hey, Code, I think we can work with you on the Game Pass thing, but those batteries will never see eye to eye.
See, I'm a man with no country, man. No country for old men.
He said no country for old men.
A man with no home.
Yeah. No, I mean, but that's it's funny, Code, because you say that. It's like I know where you're coming from because I have been called a pony, a bot. I put out a pretty interesting tweet last night that I eventually took down because I was getting a lot of hateful DMs.
Oh man,
Yeah, like I said I forget what I said, something about the Xbox community. And I was really referring to the bots, like you referring to, Code, right? The bots are always, sucking the teat of Microsoft as opposed to, demanding better content, and be treated. It's just like better games. Like that's what this is all about. But some of these guys are more concerned with, oh, I got to be friends with Phil, and I got to be friends with Aaron, and I got to be friends with Xbox, and they treat these guys like demigods. And it's like, look, they don't care about you. They care about your money. And look, I see people.
Well, that's true of everybody. That is 100% true of every corporation.
Yes, Sony doesn't care about Enrique. Sony doesn't care about Code. Sony doesn't care about J-Dub. They care about is Code spending money this month? Did J-Dub buy our new game?
So here's the difference. And in my opinion, from my observation over the past 25 years, here is the difference that I have noticed. While Sony does not necessarily care about me as an individual, like they don't know Optimus Code, couldn't care less. What Sony does do, Sony has learned that in order for me to increase engagement with my fans, I have to give them these things. And they know at the very top of that list is quality games. So they do not waver on that. They know what attracts people to their platform, and they spend all their efforts delivering the things that will keep you invested. So even though they don't care about me personally, they know that if they want to keep me around, here are the things they have to deliver, and they do it all the time.
Can I just real quick, Jade, I'll let you chime in. So, Code, to your point, I was having a conversation with somebody on Twitter about the Resident Evil Village demo. That's an example of what you're talking about. Sure.
Absolutely.
Is it just a demo? Yes. But they're giving people what they want. Content. They're rewarding you for investing in their platform. Hey, you know what? You bought a PlayStation 5. Guess what we're going to do for you? We're going to give you this demo that's only exclusive to this platform. I mean, it's just like it's not.
I don't service.
Yeah, and I said that
exactly what it is.
Yeah, exactly. I made the Ritz-Carlton, comparison analogy. JW, you saw. I said, it's like it's like these. Again, I'm not saying all Xbox fans do this, but like the hardcore, they're like, hey, you know what? Who cares if the Ritz-Carlton serves you Moet? Holiday Inn still has beds, just like Ritz-Carlton. That's not the point.
Exactly.
What are we doing here? And it's funny. The Ashton Lucas in the live chat get a super chat here, and Luke, I'm going to say it. I was an Xbox Live beta tester. Luca's like, here we go with Enrique. Talking about how he's been. No, but seriously, like Xbox used to do this. They used to do this. You probably remember this, Code.
Yeah, I mean, I want to let Jay comment on this white glove service before I change the topic, Enrique, because that's exactly what it is, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I put it like this, right? And again, I like to say, let me take my fanboy hat off, right? Sometimes you have to say it is what it is, because you think about the games and the service that PlayStation has given you over the last generation, right? Specifically the last few years. They've taken some third-party games and turned them into PlayStation exclusives, or whether it's timed exclusive or whether it's fully exclusive or whatever. That's still a game that me as a PlayStation gamer get that other people don't get. And so that's Sony spending their money that I'm giving them, right? Because I buy the game. So I give them my money. They take that money, invest it, and buy exclusive content for me. So they curate my experience and they tailor make the platform for me, right? They make it for me. And like I look at games like Final Fantasy VII remake, that's still exclusive to PlayStation. And you got Final Fantasy 16, you got I can go on a bunch of other games. But on top of that, guess what? I get exclusive demos. I get and it may be small to some people,
It's
but
not
to a
small.
gamer,
It's
it's
not small.
huge.
Yeah,
I
this is
got
the
my
small
hands
theory.
first.
The
I got my
service
hands.
is greater than the sum of its parts. Every little
Yeah.
piece magnifies. You get all these extra perks. You get your PS Plus. You get all these extra little deals and in-game items and in-game money and loot and online presence. It's just they go overboard making sure that you are content with what they're offering. They make their service worth what you invest in it.
Yes.
That's a great point. I want to get the super check real quick, gentlemen, from the one, the only, the Ashton Luco had the pleasure of podcasting with on Crossfire last night. Luca, always a pleasure to see you in the live chat. She says, to be fair, I saw most of the prominent Xbox guys speaking up, though I did see an Xbox guy telling people to get a job cutting grass to afford 120. Jeez, that doesn't surprise me that someone said that. I also saw some people say, why do you care? It doesn't affect you because if you already subscribe to Game Pass or to Xbox Live Gold. And yes, this is true. The increase would impact new subscribers, but that's not the point. And yeah, Luca's right. Like I did see a lot of Xbox fans, I guess, a lot of gamers. I mean, even Mikey Barra came out. Mikey Barra used to be at Xbox, and I forget the other guy who used to be at Xbox too. Bill Stillwell also came out and said something. Media came out. So you had some developers, media types, influencers, and people in the community saying, wait a minute, like this isn't right. Like you guys can't do this. Like, and I never tweet Phil Spencer, but I did. And I did because I'm an Xbox Live beta tester. That's my badge of honor. I throw that out there again. No, because you know what? I all joking aside, people don't realize, like, people are like, oh, you hate Xbox, Enrique. I got called a Pony B, a DM last night. It was pretty bad. Like I was getting some nasty DMs, but people don't realize, like, you know, I'm critical of Xbox because I remember when they were doing those things that Optimus Code and J-Dub were just talking about. And while I do think Game Pass offers potential value to somebody who's interested in it. There's some other things that are just lacking right now. Like we have this. I'm looking at this Series X, and the two gentlemen on the panel here with me won't buy a Series X because of what?
No games.
No games.
Yeah. And that's not hyperbole. They're saying, hey, there's nothing on this console that really shines. It says, damn, I need to go out and get a Series X right now. There's nothing.
No compelling reason to buy a Series X right now. Right now, they're just using it as a mid-gen refresh. It is an Xbox One X 0.5.
That's pretty much what it is. I mean, and
well, they technically they sold the console as an enhancer to all your old games, right? Well, you got over 4,000 games at your disposal with the Series X, but you have no new ones, right? Nothing that shines, nothing that shows off the power or anything like that, bar a 2-hour Hivebuster demo. I'm just saying, like, you know, we need more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm playing Gears 5 Hivebusters, and here's a situation where it's actually not a bad game, but I've seen zero marketing from Microsoft on this game. I'm literally popping rare achievements every level I go to, and I'm like, has anyone played this game? I got a rare achievement code for opening a door. A door. Are you kidding me? A door to the second level of the game.
Well,
hold up. So hold on a second, Enrique. Now the stats. I hear you.
The stats show 0.9%.
So right here's the thing. We have to be careful that we don't, when we are having these conversations about Xbox and Xbox doing better. I mean, I do it too, like when I'm trolling on Twitter, but like if we're going to have an honest conversation, you have to differentiate between what Xbox is doing and what the Xbox fan base is doing. If Xbox delivers a quality experience like Hivebusters, but the fan base doesn't play it, at that point, you got to change the conversation from Microsoft ain't delivering, because they are. The conversation at that point becomes
yes,
like, okay, the people that argue on Twitter and so on, like that's a different thing. But as far as Xbox itself is concerned, my problem, which I've made clear, I don't know 100,000 times, is I want them to earn my investment. I do believe that they will in 2 or 3 years. Like I legit believe that in 2 or 3 years, Xbox will have plenty of games to keep me engaged. But the problem with that is then I will wait 2 or 3 years to buy the system. I don't want to buy the system now and just have it waiting when there are things that I can be spending my time on right now instead of waiting for Xbox.
Like all them PC exclusives, right, Code?
PC got no game.
Hey,
oh man.
Hey, Valve's coming back. Do you see that?
Now that would be great.
They got some games in development.
If we had somebody in the PC space that was making sure that they delivered content to show off the PC, I would be as much as excited about PC gaming as I used to be, for sure. Yeah. But I'm just saying we got to differentiate between Xbox and the Xbox community.
I agree with you. And I think that in part was part of my tweet last night where I was like, you seem more enamored with being accepted or just having a conversation with someone in Xbox than you are actually playing these games. Because I'm playing Highbusters. I'm like, this is Gears. Why am I popping rare achievements for opening a door? Makes no sense to me. But I agree with you 110% Code. And I also agree, you're right. Like 2 or 3 years, I'm not one that's going to downplay the acquisitions of Microsoft Studios. They made some very big acquisitions. I'm a big fan of Tim Schafer. I hope people play Psychonauts 2, although I don't have much faith they will on the Xbox side. But yeah, you're right. 2 or 3 years. But I can't help though, Code. And I look at this move, right? And I'm seeing this come out. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, why are they doing this? This is so tone deaf. This is just like blows my mind. And I'm thinking to myself, then I start thinking about the Halo reveal. This is their baby, Halo, right? Like this is your Mario. This is your, this is your baby. This is what you're
the franchise. Yes,
this is the franchise
quarterback.
Yes, exactly. You're right. This is your franchise quarterback, right? This is like, this is your Tom Brady. This is the GOAT. This is what put you on the map. That there's no Xbox without Halo. That's a fact.
Yes.
And Phil's in leadership and all these guys, Matt Booty's there. And I'm like, what's going on? Halo? Like, no, apparently they didn't see the demo. They didn't see the vertical slice before it was, they saw it when it was revealed. And I'm like, wait, what is, and then this, and then there's this. And I'm thinking to myself, you guys are in a position where you're like Luca said in her video, they're in third place. All right. Now they're all making money, and at the end of the day, that's all they care about. Like we said earlier, these companies only care about making money. Xbox is very profitable, and maybe and that's look, they're looking at the bottom line. That's what they care about. But I think from a messaging standpoint, and to win the mind share from gamers, and to speak to that investment, like you talked about, because you spent thousands of dollars in these consoles, right?
Absolutely.
You should want the best. Period. They are. This is Code. It's funny. This is what you preach, and people argue with you about it. It's like all Code is telling you is that you should want the best based on the amount of investment you've made financially out of your pocket.
And here's the thing: like all the people, not all, but the majority of the people that don't like me criticizing Xbox. There's not a doubt in my mind that the amount of money and support that I've given Xbox dwarfs them by 200 or 300%, and it's not even close.
I
doubt in my mind that I
agree.
I agree. I mean, J-Dub's one of those guys. He hasn't bought a Series X, but I know J-Dub has bought multiple Xbox consoles. Jay has given away Xbox One X consoles when they came out. I remember you doing giveaways to people. I have put a lot, and I'm probably the same boat as you. I'm day one OG Xbox. I upgraded my internet from dial up to Comcast, high speed internet, just so I could be an Xbox Live beta tester. Which means, you know what? I increased the cost of my internet bill by doing that.
Yeah,
I bought multiple Xbox. So to my point, I'm not trying to brag here. What I'm saying is. And what Code is saying is like when you invest that kind of money, hell yeah, be vocal. If you're not getting what you want, you go out and buy a Ferrari and that shit's stuck at 60 miles an hour, you better complain.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, like I don't care Well, like these people complaining about me complaining. I made a tweet the other day, and I didn't even know it would make that amount of people mad, but it did. Like, I thought I made a pretty reasonable tweet, and it was very simple. If you want me to shut up complaining about Xbox, have them give me games. Like, it's easy for me to stop complaining about Xbox. And the natives went wild because of that simple tweet. But I stand by it. At the end of the day, if Xbox was doing good and we had great content from them, all the tweets that I make about Sony celebrating the games that I'm playing and the fun that I'm having, I will do the exact same thing about Xbox. The problem is I can't. There is nothing for me to celebrate on Xbox other than the promise of something soon. I'm sick of these promises and these IOUs. I want results now.
Facts. Especially if you've been waiting for what? I mean, J-Dub always talks about it. What, 6, 7 years, 8 years? I mean, whatever the case is.
All last generation we waited, and it never came. And here we are, the first year into this generation. You got guys waiting for tools. They got them waiting for games for 2 or 3 years. It's again, there's always a wait game, but there's always a wait situation, but there's never a payoff. Right? We haven't seen a payoff. I'm afraid by the time we see a payoff, the generation is going to be over. Or I think about it, right? It's 20. The console launched last year. They didn't have any games to launch with it, and they're saying, "Well, you got to wait for tools, right? Okay, the tools may come in 2 or 3 years. You got to wait for the games. We know the games are going to come for 2 or 3 years, right? There's always something, and it's like, are you supposed to sit on your hands after you done sat on your hands? Previous generation, all of the previous generation, like." I don't know. This is the only fan base that I've seen, that I've ever heard of that's willing to do that, perpetually wait.
I think this is the only fan base that treats.
And then they get mad because they want you to shut up and shut up and just be quiet about it. Don't mention it. Don't bring it up.
Now here's the thing. So Jay, I agree. We have a slight disagreement. I think Xbox will have games in 2 to 3 years. You think at the end of the generation?
Well, listen. Here's the thing, right? Let's say 2 or 3 years, but we're already in year 1 of this generation.
So like 2023, 2024, they're going to be on fire. Yeah.
Okay, let's say that happened, right? But by then, it's almost time for the next generation, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, are we talking about if you're going on, let's say you're going on a 10-year cycle, then yeah, it'll be a middle of a generation. But if you're going on a 6, 7-year cycle, I mean, shit, you're looking at like 2 more years left of generation. You see what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I think what you're trying to say, Jay, is at that point you invested so much money, that late stage of the game, you really haven't seen a return in that investment per se.
Well, don't invest the money until the games get here. That's what I'm.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there are people.
Exactly.
So here's the thing, and they keep saying this to me every time I hear this phrase. It is something to be ashamed of, not something that you need to like proudly shout from the rooftops. What does it mean when a game console where you're supposed to be focused on games and there should be compelling reasons with great gaming experiences why you invest in a console? So, for example, why are you getting a PS5? Oh, man. We got Astrobot, we got the DualSense controller, we got the Spider-Man Miles Morales. So we got games now, we got Demon Souls, and we got the promise of games coming. We got Returnal right around the corner. God of War, we don't know if it's coming this year, but they say it is. I believe them. Yeah, Kenna Bridge. Like, all of this stuff is like, okay, why are you getting a PS5? Why are you excited about a PS5? Because I got games now and I got games coming. Why are you excited about an Xbox? Because my friends got one. What does that even mean? How is it a compelling reason to buy a game console because your friends have one? To play the same old games that you've been playing since the Xbox One.
That's that herd mentality, man. And I see people say, "Oh, I get it because Xbox so pro-consumer." Phil talks to the fans. I'm like, what? Like, what are we gamers? Or are we fans of corporate leadership?
I've never heard that.
Shut up! Shut up, you stupid Sony ponies. Yeah, that's all the replies you're gonna get. Shut up, you stupid Sony ponies. You're not supposed to talk about that.
Yeah, It just
so if the reason you own the Xbox is not because of the games, then I suggest you to reconsider your motivations.
would you say that person is not a gamer then, Code?
No, I wouldn't say that. Like just dorking around having fun, like trying to annoy people. I would say
Yeah.
in real life. No, I mean
I
they may have a good reason. Like my granddaughter, last night I was like, out of all these consoles in your house, which one is your favorite? She said Xbox. I'm like, oh my God, why?
That's cool.
And
That's
it's
good.
because it's because we bought all of the like Minecraft and like every single expansion and everything that goes with it, and she just loves Minecraft. And so for her, we got all the best stuff on Minecraft, and she loves it. I asked my grandson, he's 15, and of course it's the Switch for him. I'm like, man, I'm doing something wrong. I need to try to encourage them to be more PlayStation centric. Maybe I was wrong to just buy everything and let them choose.
The greatness. You gotta get them to the greatness.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, man. Something ain't right.
Yeah. It's interesting because I was telling we talk about like that mentality, right? And I shared with you, Code, I think this week about how I used to be, and I shared that with J-Dub, and I think both you and Code, I think you were laughing when I was telling you how I used to be I used to be an Xbox fanboy, and I told J-Dub, I think was in tears when I explained to him what I used to do. Right, Jay?
Oh man, I started laugh. I was dying.
Jay was laughing. He's like, "What?" And I get that mentality, Code. I have been there. I got into a fight with Greg Kasavin, who is at Supergiant Games now, and I actually had him on as a guest a couple years ago on BRAP. But he used to be the executive, I forget what it was, or not director, or executive editor, senior editor at GameSpot, and I was an Xbox forum moderator on the GameSpot forums. And like for real, like I know the mentality, that I know the mindset of the Xbox fanboys. I used to be one, and literally you get caught in this echo chamber, and you really do. I used to damage control everything. Like I remember this game Reckless came out, and like the Xbox, the PlayStation fans had like the GTA was exclusive at the time, and I was like, yeah, well, you know what? We got Reckless coming out, and that game's gonna be like our GTA. And I'll never forget. I told Jay this. I went to GameStop to pick up the game. I put in my Xbox console, my OG Xbox console, and Code. That game was trash. but let me tell you what I did though. I went on the forums, and with all my Xbox guys in my little echo chamber, I was like, yeah, man, Reckless is fun. It's just fun. Yeah. So
no, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I am not making this up.
So you intentionally lied to the American people.
Yes.
To make Xbox look good.
I'm telling you, these guys, and I know who you are. I look at you all cross-eyed when you start using that fun thing. Nah, I've been there. And look, I'm not going to say everyone doesn't have fun with Crackdown 3, but some of you I'm looking a little side-eye because I've been there. When I'll never forget, Greg Kasavin did a review of Metal Gear Solid. I said this to Jay, and he gave it a lower score than the PlayStation 2 version. It wasn't Metal Gear Solid; it was another Metal Gear. But he gave it a lower score, and he said that one of the reasons is because the Xbox version didn't perform as good. And I went at Greg. I'm like, Greg, that's your opinion. That's not fact. Nobody listened to him. Reviews are just opinions. Greg's a Sony guy. How can that game run? Not run as well as the PlayStation when the Xbox is more powerful. See.
Yep.
Lack of ignorance, lack of understanding, and just ignorance. And I got to an argument with him on the floor. I'm a GameSpot moderator. He's a senior editor, and I'm telling him that his review is nothing but opinion, and that no one should
did that because you wanted to defend Xbox.
Exactly, and that's so I know that mindset. That's why I speak to the whole media bias thing. I know about that.
Yep. My man said he helped create media bias. God damn.
Wait a minute.
He said Enrique says I'm a founding father of the media bias.
I'm a founding father.
Are you saying that you legit would lie to defend Xbox's reputation?
Yes.
Why?
Because you get caught up in this back and forth battle that you just want to win. You just want to prove the other guy wrong. So it's not about facts anymore. It's about, it's almost like what you see in politics today. It becomes a situation where it's like
defend your guy if he's right or wrong.
Exactly. You want to defend your guy. You want to prove the other guy wrong. So you're going to make up your own facts. And then when you start getting into this echo chamber and the other people start believing or agreeing with what you say, it becomes your reality. And it's just, dude, I'm telling you, Code. Jay was literally, when I told him that I used to say fun, he was crying because I did. I'm telling you, I did the whole.
That's the stuff we see. That's the stuff we see going on today, right? We saw that last generation. We're seeing it now, and I could never, and I'm always asking Code all the time, like, I can't process it right in my brain of how a person could be like that. Now, I poke fun at everything, and I joke about everything. Don't take any of it seriously.
No, you come from roasting culture.
Yeah. I'm from the roasting culture. I can't fathom, right? Somebody like, what's the mindset of a person that can do that, especially from a company that has disappointed you or, internally disappointed you. You can show it on outside that you're happy, but come on, like, it is what it is.
Yeah,
we know a lot of guys aren't happy with Xbox or Microsoft.
Yeah, let me jump in right there, Jay. Enrique, if these games on Microsoft that you was getting was not making you happy, why did you stick around instead of playing other games that you could enjoy? Like, why would you continue to be disappointed?
Because it becomes like a cult, man. I'm telling you, you get so entrenched in the console war that you're more concerned about being right and proving that the Xbox is the best or whatever platform it is, that gaming almost becomes secondary. It's almost like, you're any chance you can get to prop up a game. Bang. Look at the graph. Like I used to, like Reckless, I'd be like, look at the graphics of this game, and it's fun. The game was trash. Like Brute Force, I'll never forget. This is what I used to do. I'll never forget. Before Fable was called like Project Natal or Project something. I forget what it was called before it was Fable. Mm-hmm. And I used to be like, yeah, well, Xbox, you could, and I used to talk. It's always feature sets. So it's nothing's changed, by the way, in 20 years with fanboys. It was with the Xbox, OG Xbox. I was always like, yeah, well, you know what? PlayStation 2, you can't rip your music on the hard drive like you can on Xbox. I mean, like, and that was like a talking point. It was always and then and obviously when Xbox did hit it right, like we got Ninja Gaiden exclusive. Yeah, we got Gaiden. Yeah, Itagaki says the PlayStation's crap. I mean, it was just like, meanwhile, PlayStation 2 was just selling gangbusters and killing it, right? But
Ninja Gaiden was fire on the Xbox.
Oh, it was fire. That game was fire, but.
So you didn't care about telling the truth. So if someone actually demonstrated that this is a better experience over here, you wouldn't care and you wouldn't want to go experience it as a gamer. You would just poo-poo it and then make sure you boosted up Xbox.
So here's the thing, man. Sometimes on the side, I go play PlayStation 2.
Wow.
That's how that Jay's like. But Jay, this is what these dudes do today, though, right, Jay? You already know, right, Jay?
That's exactly what they do, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Code.
Exactly. I mean, you're right.
Code,
that's exactly what happens.
I'm a recovering fanboy.
So look, I'm going. If Xbox is bringing Xbox, I'm going to give Xbox credit for what they are doing. When I criticize Xbox, it is not because I'm trying to hype up Sony. I criticize Xbox because they are underperforming. I praise Sony because they are overperforming. The one has nothing to do with the other. If they both doing well, you'll see my time.
Well, you know this,
but joy.
Code. I don't know if you've noticed, right? But this is only exclusively between PlayStation and Xbox. You never hear PlayStation guys talk much crap about Nintendo. You know why? Because they actually have games and they have good games, right? So if you have good games, sure, they don't really have a good online infrastructure and all that other stuff, party chat and all, but all that is feature stuff. That's feature sets. That's secondary compared to the games. One thing Nintendo has is games. One thing PlayStation has is games, and great games that people want, right? Not
Man.
the 50 Metacritic that people try to hype up to save face, but they actually have critically acclaimed good games that's consistent. Xbox is the only platform that doesn't have that. So this is why I think those people have reverted back into the old Enrique of 2000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I know these guys do it because it wasn't just me, it was other people in that community that I was with that we were console warring would do the same thing. It's fun. Oh, the reviews are just opinions. Don't listen to them. People need to stop downplaying the importance of game reviews.
So you've seen
matter.
it all before, Enrique.
Yeah, dude, I lived it, man. I'm a recovering crackhead. Optimus Code.
Let me say something real quick because I mainly came on to talk about this Xbox Live thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so here is the thing. So I've heard that it was the intention of Microsoft to raise the price of Xbox Live the entire time. And back when people were saying that it was going to be free, I definitely had people in my ear saying it's not going to be free. They're actually going to increase the price. And that happened. And when they made the announcement yesterday, we had this big group chat going, that's private. Nothing was public about it. And from what I understand, the plan was always to raise the price of Xbox Live, to get rid of the free to play paywall right before Halo Infinite dropped, because they're serious about Halo Infinite being free to play multiplayer for everyone. You won't need Xbox Live Gold. But the plan has always been to increase the price of Live and to get rid of the paywall. When all of that stuff happened yesterday, it was just a natural progression of what many people on the inside already thought was going to happen. But here is the thing. They doubled the price without adding any additional benefits.
Yes.
So it wasn't like, okay, you get 3 times, right? You don't get 3 times the bandwidth. Okay, well, we're going to give you 10 games a month instead of 4. Like, nothing improved. The only thing that happened was the price of the service went up for the exact same games. I'm sorry, the exact same service that you were already getting. The problem that I personally had with the price hike was, number one, why are you increasing the price without increasing the offering? And 2, why did you double it? Why didn't you increase it slightly over time? How you just gonna do 100% increase? And that was the issue that I had with the price hike. Not that they're trying to make more money, but that they didn't offer any additional value, like Jay said. And they just went from 0 to 100. To forget 15, 25, they doubled the price.
Yeah, they did go from 0. And that's the part that stood out. I think got everyone upset too, Code, is that it was it wasn't just a $10 increase, right? If it went to $70, like I know a lot of people are bringing up, well, what about Sony fans sticking up to Sony about $70 games? What about that now? And I'm like, what are we doing here with that? That's a false. First of all, it's a false equivalency. Number one. It's a false equivalency. So let's stop with that. And look, and I'm not saying that that you shouldn't be upset about a $10 increase. Look, I wasn't happy when games went from 50 to 60. I wasn't happy when games went to 60 to 70. If I don't
here's the thing though, Enrique. I know this ain't your point, but just real quick, people keep saying the PlayStation games are $70. First, that's a lie. PlayStation 5 games range from $40 to $70. So it's not just true that their games are $70. And if it is, they worth it. What's the problem? They give you more for your money.
Exactly.
Now, let me ask, is that price increase code a result of just real quick, Code? Is that price increase of 70 a result of increased development cost?
Oh, I don't have no idea why they did it. All I know is it's not $70 across the board. Some games are $40, some games are $50, 60, and 70. So it's a range of prices, not just one price. And I'm not sure how they decide when they're gonna charge 70.
Well, here you go. You got the biggest game in the world, Call of Duty, right? It was $70 when it came out. Everybody's playing Call of Duty now. I don't think anyone complained about it. And you have other games, right? So third parties doing that.
Call of Duty was $70.
Yeah, on PS5 and Xbox.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I always buy
Yeah.
like the digital. I never really know how much a game actually costs because I'm always buying the gold edition or
You got money like that, Co. That's why. You
No,
don't even
I'm
look.
saying, like, I
You,
don't
you hit
even
the buy button.
the actual price is
Yeah.
because I'm always getting the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Go.
know
Now,
that,
here's the thing, right?
but that's not just a Sony
Yeah.
thing. Activision
No,
is
it's
also
not just a Sony thing. Yeah.
okay.
This conversation happened last year when the executives, both at Sony, the third party studios, and Microsoft, were talking about the increase in development costs because of next generation, the bigger levels, the bigger blockbuster games and stuff like that. And the fact that we hadn't had a price increase in 3 to 4 generations from the price that we were paying previously. So here's the thing about it, right? I get it. If you don't want to pay $70 for a game, listen, I'm with you. I support you. Don't spend $70 for a game. Wait for the price to come down. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of these games, when you pay, $60, $70 at launch, some of those games on sale right now for like $30, $40. So if I'm adamant about that. I support you 1,000%. If you find a game is too much, don't buy it.
Right.
Do
If you
not
can't
buy it.
afford
Wait
it,
for the
don't buy
price to come down. Yeah, wait for the
Absolutely.
price to come down. Now, here's the thing, though. Even me as a gamer, you know what I'm saying? When the price went up to $70, I said, now I'm more selective on what games I buy. Now I'm like, okay, well, this game is $70. Okay, well, you know what? Is this game? I scrutinize the games more than I would if it was if it was
That
$60,
makes sense.
then
That
or $65.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm not gonna pay $70 for Zoo Tycoon. I hate to say I'm not gonna do that shit.
Shouldn't pay $30
But
for
I
Zoo
probably
Tycoon.
will pay. I paid $70 for Demon Souls. I feel like I got my money out of it. I felt like it was worth it. It's a next gen game, amazing graphics. Like it was worth that $70. I'll pay it 1,000 times over to get and that's what people don't realize. A good game is priceless to gamers, but a bad game, yeah, of course I'm not going to spend much money on so Microsoft don't really have any compelling games to have the nerve to charge $70 for. This is why people are looking at the discrepancy. Well, Sony's charging $70 for some games. Yes, you know what? If Microsoft had some great games that they could get away with $70, that was worth $70, they would too. But they don't.
Right.
This is why you have Game Pass. This is why Game Pass exists, because they don't have the compelling games that you bought previously. You don't have it.
Facts.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I'm gonna get this super chat from Emperor Wraith with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Emperor. Says, shout out to Enrique, the Beta King. That's funny. J Dub the Great and Granddaddy Code.
Hater. One empty crowd, man. What's up,
Right.
Race? What's up, man?
We also got my man Gaming Forte, who's live from the halls of, I won't say what retail store he works at, but a certain gaming store, who, by the way, whose stock value dropped like 225%.
Yo, I don't
That
know what
is
the hell
nuts.
is up with that.
Man.
I'm like, yo, I should have bought some stocks at like $2. I could have sold it and been rich.
Hey, I bought some at $2, and boy, it's looking good.
Hey, you Forte, you might want to sell though before it goes down, bro.
Oh, it's already in the process, brother.
You might want to cash out while it's. I mean, 200. I was like, I did a double take. I said, I mean, it was trending on CNBC. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on. That short squeeze was real nice.
Yeah, it was. It's all to your hard work, Forte, providing excellent customer service. I
know, man. Ryan Cohan needs to come here and make this the capital of GameStop in Michigan.
Facts. But
I hear y'all in here talking about this nonsense that happened over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this, Forte?
Which part? Both of them was dumb.
Yeah, well, they were. And I Forte, forget you. I will say this and this is going to tie into another subject after we get Forte's take. But I think the one thing for me that was even more appalling about this is that it's like Microsoft, you guys don't have any political clout per se or capital to make this kind of move. Like, you need to be doing everything you can to position yourself as pro consumer. You need to be flawless. You cannot fumble the ball at any point because you don't have anything to kind of fall back on in terms of content, which is the key driver here. Content. Like a game, like Coach says, it's always about let the games do the talking. They don't necessarily have that right now. And to do this is just like, it's like, come on, guys, like, you should know better. And that goes into another topic that I'll get into after you give us your thoughts on this, Forte.
Yeah, so for me, like, I was sitting at the closing table for the house yesterday when it's all broke. That's why.
Ballin'. Congratulations, by the way, sir.
Congrats, player.
Yeah, congrats.
Congrats, bro.
Next time you see me on camera in the middle of February, it's gonna be with RGB everywhere. All the screen. I finally I'm gonna have a space big enough to actually take advantage of all that stuff. But,
sir, congratulations.
Forte's gonna be in there butt naked with RGBs everywhere.
Yep. Exclusive shirt offs every Wednesday.
Oh my goodness.
but for real, when I heard about it, I was like, nah, man, this ain't no thing. And then when I got to work, I saw and first of all, I've never seen them get the timing was impeccable. I've never seen the actual retail cards hit the store at the exact time that they announced something. I was like, what is this $60 for 6 months?
So Jay, I think Jay had a post saying that somebody gonna have to go remove all them cards. Was that you, Forte? Had to go?
Oh, I already removed them. So I went to go see if they still work. I was like, I wonder if you can still ring these up. But yeah, man. So I saw it. That was like my first thought of it, and I was like, no, this ain't right. I was like, just like BRAP said. We like to, talk about the things that Xbox is doing great, but it always comes back to the messaging side of it. It's like you do messaging so well when it talks about your system, when you talk about your services and stuff, but you always miss the mark when everybody thinks, okay, Xbox is doing good. Xbox is doing better. We know they got the game. We know the games is the big problem, and that's going to hopefully get addressed in the future. And people are willing to wait because people still went out and bought this system. I mean, you still can't find the system pretty much anywhere, with the exception of a couple of little places. And it seems like they're doing better. And then they do this. And I'm like, Lord, help me. I was like, help me understand what the thought process on this situation was. Like, who thought this was a good idea, especially in this climate with everything that's going on in the world? And then you don't even give any clarity to why you're doing it. Normally these posts are written by particular people at Xbox, but they basically wrote it as like the team of Xbox Live, so nobody could get singled out for doing it or anything. And then this morning, and even yesterday, I even said, I don't know if they're going to change this. I said, Xbox is good at changing things, but this seems like to be a fundamental change that they wanted to do for a long time, and they just wanted to pull the trigger on it now because they say, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get it over with. And then I wake up this morning, and I'm like, yo, what happened? So literally within 8 hours, you literally did an about face on a situation. And I'm not mad about that. I'm actually
glad they did that. Yeah.
I'm glad they did it. I was ecstatic that they did it for the fact that, I got 3 Xboxes in my house and only one of them can share Xbox Live with the other. So I don't have to go out and spend $120 on the extra one. So I'm glad that they did that. The biggest problem I have with the situation is just why? Why would you even put yourself in this situation? Why even inflict yourself with the gun wound that's going to, come from this? And it just seems tone deaf as heck because you don't have the cachet that you really, truly need in order to pull a move like this. The reason Sony got away with charging for multiplayer is because they gave people the belief and the understanding that, we behind Sony 100%. Didn't nobody laugh when you said this? Wasn't nobody cheering when you said this? Nobody was doing anything. And it was just it just really, really, truly missed the mark. And I'm just happy to know that gamers stood up on this one because I saw a few people out there trying to damage control and say this is a good thing. Xbox Live is a good value. I'm like, no. Xbox Live is a good value, but not at the price point they were doing it at.
Not double.
Not double. You haven't done anything to the service in over 11 years. So
exactly.
That's the biggest thing for me. And then for me, I felt like if you were going to do something like this, just come out and say, yo, we're going to raise the price of Game Pass, because Game Pass seems to be the reason that they're doing this. And we all knew, we said this years ago when they first started this. What's the breaking point? When is it going to hit the point where Xbox is going to be like, we have to raise the price of this thing? Because I think this was a straight move to try to move people over to that service, because you basically just made one service look terrible and made the other one look better just because it was only $60 less. So just raise the price of Xbox Game Pass and just say, people, that's the values in Xbox Game Pass. If you don't want to get into it, that's fine. But we're going to raise the value for the people that are coming into it new. And they could have did the same exact thing. If you're already part of the ecosystem, you continue to keep paying what you're paying now until you leave or come back and you unsubscribe. But they didn't do that because I guess they just didn't think about the ramifications that was going to happen from this. But it's kind of hard for me to think they didn't, because this is the same company that went through this literally not even 10 years ago. It had to do an about face within a week of them making an announcement. So it's disappointing to see that we had to basically do this all over again to basically tell them and speak with our wallets, because I really, truly didn't think Xbox was going to change it anytime soon. I thought it would have been a point where they canceled Xbox Live before they would have basically went back on their word and changed it back to what it was. But I'm glad they did it. And I'm glad that everybody spoke up on it and they went on their podcast. And I said that in my video today. I'm just happy that people didn't stand for this, because that was kind of ridiculous.
Absolutely, man. I agree 110%. Forte.
The big thing though is it's crazy, because last year a bunch of industry insiders, a bunch of YouTubers, and a bunch of journalists were adamant about Xbox dropping, Microsoft dropping Xbox Live and making it free. So everyone assumed that if they made any move, the move would be to make it free. Yep. Or just drop it, period, and just go with Game Pass, right? It's the messaging. Now I get great, right? Let's say this water under the bridge. They corrected the situation, and no harm, no foul, right? But the problem is like you said, Microsoft, they don't have that capital to expend. They're already trying to keep people as much as possible. People have to wait for the games. They have to wait for the tools. They have to wait for a lot of stuff. So you can't alienate the people after you done told them to wait. It's like, look, okay, I'm gonna wait, but goddamn, you can't jack the price up 50% on me. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that, and you don't offer me anything. Now I get it. Some people are like, well, just move over to Game Pass and you'll be okay. Sure, it costs an extra $20, but it's still a great value. Yes, but still, there's a lot of people that don't want to do that. A lot of people are long-term Xbox guys. They just want to play their Xbox Live and their Madden perpetually, and that's it. So I don't. Somebody made that decision, and someone sat in the boardroom and said, "We're finna do this. We're gonna do this today. Give the green light." Whoever did that, I don't know if it was Phil or somebody, but it was somebody higher up said that, and they had to know that this was going to happen. How did you not know that was going to happen? And if they didn't know if it was going to happen, then that troubles me even more, because that means that they're not self-aware of the position that they're in the gaming market with the gamers.
You know what?
I got a little bit different opinion on that, because
let me because maybe I don't know if I'm gonna go where you're going, but I do.
You just gonna cut me off and go first for that?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Hey, don't you know you gotta let seniors first?
He ain't a senior, man.
That's what you think.
No, well, my thing is, I don't think there was a self-aware. I actually think there was a plan behind this. I think this started 3 years ago.
Wait, Forte, real quick. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I want to get this super chat real quick. Gaming Addict with the $2 chat. What's up, Gaming Addict? Great to see you in the live chat. Says we're gonna talk about how Forte never jumped on.
Oh yeah, he called. Well, he's the one that told. Well, I found out about this from him yesterday, and I was in my car, and he said, "Jump on. I want to talk about this." I was like, "Okay." I was about to jump on, and then I went into the house, and my wife was like, "Oh, they called me. We got the closing today at 1:00." I was like, "That's in 45 minutes." It was like, "Yeah, they just changed the date. They had to move the time up." So that's why I didn't come on, and I didn't get a chance to call you because I had to literally run out the house to go to a date to close for a house. So I'm sorry. I guess
What's
that was
up,
more
Attic? Let them know gamers don't care about that trash. Get on. Ain't no excuses.
So
care
the
about
thing,
that. Buy your house next week, sucker.
right. So the thing I think this all happened starting 3 years ago. The biggest problem was they put all these people, their biggest supporters, all jumped on the Game Pass. They all got on there for $1. So they thought that the majority of people that would have a problem with this wouldn't be as vocal as they were because this wouldn't affect them. They was like, okay, I don't have to worry about this. This is a deal that's going to only affect, incoming new people. That's why if you purposely look at their wording, they literally said, if you're on the deal, you're going to continue to be on that deal, which is the $15 a month after after your thing runs out, and you'll just keep paying that price. It's only going to affect new people. But that really didn't work out for them because everybody really truly understood that this wasn't a move that was only going to affect Xbox. This could affect PlayStation. This could affect Nintendo. This could affect anybody. This is literally Microsoft saying we're going to raise the ground of what subscription services cost. And that can literally usher in other companies doing the same thing. And I think that's what they didn't really think about in the end. And I think that's the biggest thing that kind of made this a really tough decision for them to actually try to stick with.
That's not where I was going for, Tay, but that's a good point, and I agree with it. The only thing I think is different, because Jay said, they did it thinking that, not expecting the backlash. And I'm saying they definitely didn't expect the backlash, because from what I see, the majority of Xbox people will just praise anything that they do.
Yes.
So they figure that whatever we do, our fans are going to support it. They're going to defend against anybody that comes against it, and we'll be okay because we can do whatever we want and our people will not speak up.
You know what, Code? Well said. And to the Xbox fanboys, you created this. When you don't fight for like that white glove stuff that we talked about earlier, this is what these companies are going to do. They're going to expect you to roll over, drop the soap.
Facts.
Look
by
at
the way, I have a ton of receipts. By the way, I have ton of receipts, so people can't hide and say,
I know you do.
I was fighting. I was fighting for this to be overturned. Nah, it was a lot of people. This is perfectly fine. This is come on now. I got the receipts.
And by the way,
amidst of that, I saw some prominent Xbox dudes calling it out. I saw some damage control, and like it wasn't unanimous either way, but I definitely saw some trying to.
It should have absolutely been unanimous, Code. I mean, this is not, and the bad part is now it's like, which Sony fans will stick up to Sony the way Xbox fans do. Really? No, you guys don't do that. Like, stop that. Like, really? We'll get the super chat real quick from Ramon Terrell with the $5 super chat. Says, love the show, Brap. Nice to see Code's old trolling ass. Much love, big homie. Also, Microsoft had me like big worm. Stop playing with Smokey.
Stop playing with my emotions, Microsoft.
Yeah, but that leads me to what kind of Forte was talking about, and what you just said, Code, that leadership's like, hey, we could do it because our fans defend everything we do. We haven't given them a new IP in God knows how long, and we launched a console with no must-have games because guess what? They're going to accept it. So we could do this. But that brings me to another point, though. But even that being said, and given their position in the market, they can't afford to make these mistakes. And so, like, Mooch has been saying this for a while, that he doesn't think that Phil's maybe necessarily the right guy for the job now. I know, Jay, you have been adamant about that, and I'm starting to think, maybe.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Yeah, we can't go that far.
That is not the number one job of Phil Spencer, is to make money for his owner.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. But is it? There's just something that needs to happen, because like I go back to Halo, their baby, Code. This is their baby, and they threw it in the trash can, and it's just like,
they didn't put it in the trash can. They just had a little miscarriage, but the baby's still on.
Wow. Oh my God.
Baby's still on the way.
Yeah, the twins survived.
Jesus. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's something to me, at least in my opinion, seems off here. Like,
so here's the thing. I don't think you can blame that on Phil Spencer. I do. Well, obviously you can, because ultimately everything
the buck stops at him.
What?
I get that. I get that part. Ultimately, it all rests on him. So he ultimately will take the blame. But here's the thing. Like, he tried to play that role with Crackdown, right? Like, he was like, no, we can't release this. And he kept visiting the companies that was doing the development. Okay, no, it's still not ready, so on and so forth. Here's the thing. I don't know who it is, but there is someone within PlayStation Studios where they are responsible, and it's not Jim Ryan, but there is someone in Sony that is over quality control. And that person they go to Sony Ben, and they're like, Days Gone is not ready. No, you need about 2 more years because we will not release this product. And they go through and they make sure that each one of the games meets that Sony quality level, at least with like presentation, cinematics, like all the things that Sony demands that their games have. And it has to pass internal quality control. That is the piece that I think Microsoft is missing. I get that they want to let the studios act independently, and they don't want to micromanage, and they want to give them the freedom to create what they want to create. But at the same time, I think they need to create that position where someone is responsible for implementing consistency across the entire brand of studios. That's the piece that I think Sony has that Microsoft doesn't, and that's not Phil, that's someone else.
Okay.
Again, ultimately, he will get the blame. Sure.
Go ahead. Jake.
Yeah, listen. I totally agree 1,000% with Code right there. We talked about that before. I remember Corey Balrog over at Sony Santa Monica saying that Yoshida told him whatever when he showed him the direction of God of War when they were making it, that no, this is not what we need. Start over. And he said he had to start from scratch.
Exactly.
You need someone who knows. You need someone who knows good games and know what customers want and know how you're going to be perceived in the industry.
Yes.
And how your game's going to drop, right? And you have to be consistent, not just okay. This is a pretty great game, right? And then the next one is a dud, and then the next one is a dud, and the next one, and then you have to be consistent. And that's what I'm waiting on from Microsoft. I want them to drop consistent quality games, even if those games are consistently 75, 76 Metacritic. At least they're consistent, right? I know what to expect, and they can work on it. You can bring up, consistency. You can improve on it when you have consistency, but going from, just look at Halo. He said, look at the progression of Halo and look at the chart of how it was once the best thing ever. And then over time, it just gradually went down, 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 and down, and all the way to where you have the world's most powerful console yet again, and the game is not representative of the hardware. And so somebody has to speak to that. And I get it. Sometimes you have to blame developers, but as a corporation, you pay the salaries. You need to be managing over that.
That's what I'm saying. Real quick, Enrique, I don't think that person is Phil. Again, he's going to get the blame because he's at the top of the food chain. So they will blame him. But I think that role needs to be created, and there needs to be someone whose only job is quality consistency.
Well, that's kind of what, again, and maybe Phil isn't the problem per se. Like, maybe it's just a matter of shaking up, restructuring the way, the organization is, and adding someone like that, Code. But there's something's just off. Like, and I say that again because I'm seeing too many examples of where they're fumbling the ball and they're making rookie mistakes, and they've been in the game for 20 years now. And it's like, what's like, you guys, like, I think David Jaffe said, he's like, David, and I'm paraphrasing what Jaffe said, but he said something to the effect, with all the resources Microsoft has, it's just a shit. They're just not good at like management, And he goes, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but something to that effect. And I think he actually assigned that to Phil Spencer, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe in fairness, maybe Phil isn't the problem. Maybe he is. But the sales pitch too right now, from what I understand, what I've heard, that Matt Booty's presenting to potential studios they want to acquire is that, hey, come here, we'll buy you, and we'll give you resources, and you're free to do what you want.
Right,
we're not going to micromanage you.
Right. So they have to find a way to harmonize, allowing the studios to have complete creative freedom, but also having a quality standard that every studio must maintain.
And I agree 110%. Yeah. Absolutely. But I think even from a marketing perspective, like this is, like the whole Xbox Live Gold thing, like it's like what's going, like again, that's kind of my thing. Like what's going on here, guys? Like you're not new to the rodeo. Like this isn't, this is, you guys have been doing this for 20 something years now.
Well, I think what everybody said on that part is, well, not everybody. Yeah. There were many pundits who said the whole point of that was to increase the perceived value of Game Pass, and I think that's
absolutely true. No, I would agree with that. It's kind of tunnel people to Game Pass. I agree.
The only part of Xbox I think that has been flawless this last generation and this generation is the controller division, because it's second to none. They know how to market that. They know how to do that right, and I give them the props.
Yeah,
man.
Take the guy that's in charge, whoever's in charge of the controller. That market the hell out of that and come out with these great design controllers. Take that guy and move him into that position of being over the game studios and the quality control. Like they need a guy like that,
Yeah, they need somebody visiting these studios early and often, not at the end where all your only choice now is to this massive delay. They need somebody that is constantly visiting these studios, seeing the progress of what's happening, getting a firm understanding for what the game is going to be, and making sure that it matches the quality that they are after.
Facts. Let me
bleeding edge should not have happened, in my opinion.
No, I don't. I agree 110% with that. Let me get these super chats real quick. Obi-Wan with the $2 super chat says code.
Obi-Wan, what's up, player?
And then Emperor the Wraith, $2 super chat says Xbox cult will be in the next Resident Evil. Jeez. Hey, don't get it twisted. The PlayStation called out there too, guys. That's on another episode. And Optimus Code the leader.
Wow.
Yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna tell you why stuff like that affects PlayStation and it affects Nintendo and to some extent PC. And the reason why gamers in general should have all been upset about it and got it turned around is because we all know, right? Just like we started this show saying, these corporations, they care about money. That's what and if you see a company get away, if let's say this would have happened and Microsoft didn't repeal this and everybody would have just shut up and took it, it would have been mere weeks. Sony and Nintendo both would have copied the same thing. They would have been, well, shit, these guys were able to double price. Guess what? You don't think PlayStation Plus wouldn't gonna go up to 120? Like, come on. They're not gonna sit around and let Microsoft double the price and get the money and nobody say anything. And they're gonna do the exact same thing. They want to make money.
Right.
So this is why just when one company does something, it can directly affect PlayStation or Nintendo or even Steam and Epic Store and other. I mean, that's just how it goes. That's with any corporation. If somebody gets away with something, it's just a matter of time before it becomes mainstream.
Yep, that's why we even have to pay on PlayStation now, because Microsoft charged for Xbox Live Gold. Sony saw that people were willing to pay, and next thing you know, here comes PS Plus.
Exactly. And think about it. It was free the whole generation.
Yes.
And then they said, well, you know what? We gave it, shit, these guys are making billions off of this. Why can't we?
Yeah, PlayStation platform holders were very angry when that happened. I remember that. People were hot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they gave you 2 free games.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing about it, though, Enrique. one thing I know about gamers, just being a gamer, right? Yeah, we hate paying for stuff. Right? We don't want everything to stay the same. But gamers are willing to pay for something that they perceive that there's a value there. It's just like games, right? People will, if you give a person the right game that they perceive as a great fucking game, they're willing to pay $100 for that game. I mean, think about back in the day. People for Super Nintendo games we paid $70.
I mean, people do it now. I know people that spend thousands on dollars on mobile games. I know someone who did that.
I think Enrique talking about himself.
No, not me. I'm not dropping $1,000.
How much you spend on that Mass Effect multiplayer?
Dude, I know this girl.
Not a dime.
Well, she's not a girl; she's a woman. But she was a teenager, then like into her 20s, and I paid her way through college, and like not on no trash. Like our families were close, and so I paid her way through college, and she come hit me up. I'm like, what's up? This fool done spent $1,000 on Candy Crush. And I'm like, can you help me? Like, no, I'm not helping you pay no $1,000. I help you pay for books and tuition. That is it. I am not paying for no Candy Crush.
Wow, $1,000 on Candy Crush. That's insane.
Yes, sir. But she was level like 5,000 or something. Like she loved it. Like they couldn't get enough of it.
See, that's what I'm saying. People will pay things they find value in. It's crazy. It's wild.
Well, yeah. One last thing on that, when we're on that subject though, is when we're talking about games. When you see Nintendo and Sony, and they're looking over at Microsoft, collecting all this money. A lot of people like to throw Microsoft or Xbox money. The Xbox division is worth 400 million, 600 million, whatever they throw out there, right? But they haven't really given you any good games or compelling reason to buy a console or whatever. And you don't think those companies like Sony and Nintendo are like, well, these guys are doing fucking the bare minimum and they're raking in record profits. And yet we're going out there, doubling down, buying all of this, giving these guys Game of the Year winners and contenders. Like, you don't think that those companies are like, feeling like, well, shit, let's just do what they're doing because we can make more money or the same amount of money and put less effort in. That's the fear that I believe a lot of PlayStation guys have when it pertains to like Game Pass and pertains to Sony or Nintendo copying Microsoft's efforts. It's a real fear from what I see from a lot of guys.
I don't think that's nothing to worry about because if you look at them sales numbers, PlayStation is dominating 2-1, 3-1. So they know they're doing something right, and Microsoft is doing something wrong.
Yeah. Can't take that away. I think the one thing that's really disappointing in this situation is it's a good thing, but it literally took everybody to come together and say something. And the fact that they finally removed the paywall for free-to-play games.
Yes.
Whoa. That's misinformation.
They haven't removed it yet. They're working on it.
They announced their intentions to remove it.
They said within the next couple of months.
Yeah, and but that was always the plan to have the paywall.
I do too.
In the future.
I always thought like the fact that Halo got delayed is the reason they didn't push it out early because there was no way they was going to. Yeah, when Halo got delayed, it pushed back the plans of them basically making all free-to-play games free.
Yes.
So they're basically trying to sync that up as like another celebration thing, like, talk about Halo. Halo's coming, free-to-play multiplayer, and guess what? Anybody that has Xbox Live, you don't even have to worry about having to own Xbox Live to play this game, and that's across all free-to-play games. So they were trying to do a double-decker, but the fact that they had such bad publicity on this situation, they kind of had to basically let people know, like, hey, this is our plans. We're not doing it right now, but this is the plan going forward. So they basically just gave everybody a heads up early. Hey. And it's kind of crazy it took all of this for them to just come out and just say it. Yourself.
They lost all that goodwill, though. Like, that would have been a good thing, right? But you done turned a positive into a negative because you done did a boneheaded move, and now everybody's mad at you.
Yeah, you did not expect the fan outcries. That's simple.
Yeah,
like Coach says, they didn't expect it because the fans just take everything they do. They just damage control.
I think the biggest thing is if it wasn't for the fact that this is what I really truly think is going on. I think gamers in general are fed up with a lot of stuff this generation. You had game after game come out be buggy. You got developers coming out and lying to you, telling you that games were perfectly fine and they run great when it comes to CD Projekt Red. So you had a lot of moving parts that basically gamers at this point have gotten used to just talking up for themselves and not being able to just sit by and wait for stuff to happen. And this happens, and they didn't perceive this happening to them, but they didn't read the room. The room is basically saying that people aren't going to stand up for this stuff. If they're not going to stand up from their favorite developers, they're definitely not going to stand up for them when it comes to like a platform holder at this point.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some wild stuff in the live chat. Like, I'm not going to mention this person's name because he needs to pay in color if he wants his name, but like someone's saying PlayStation using Azure will eventually fund free online for Xbox. Where are you guys getting this from? Like what the, like what, seriously? And someone agrees with them. Like what, like seriously, what the, I mean, like this is like, what are we doing?
Hey, so here's the question. I want to ask a question because I got to run, Enrique, but I want to ask a question that nobody's talking about.
Yep.
And I asked it on my Twitter yesterday. How much are you willing to pay for Xbox Live when that price goes up? Like, what's the limit that you're willing to pay? Because it's going to go up.
Oh, an extra $10. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You can only
25. 25
extra $5 or $10.
25 is my limit.
About 25 is your limit, J-Dub. What about you, Forte?
No, that's what I said. 25.
No. I'm saying 10. Yeah, a $10 increase has always in gaming has always kind of in the modern era has always been that barrier at which they would increase something. Right now, it may be $10 this generation, and next another $10, and so on. You have to creep it up there. You can't just give me a whammy because I'm be like, hell no.
So 25,
especially for a person like.
Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Forte said $25. I said $10.
Well, I mean, it's 15 now, so you said $10 more.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm just saying, whether it's Game Pass or whether it's Xbox Live, you can't increase it to me more than $25, more than $10 increase at a time. So
okay, well, let me rephrase the question. J-Dub, would you pay $25 a month for Game Pass?
Yeah, I would.
Enrique, how much would you pay?
I don't know if I'd pay 25. Just depends on what content's in there. To be frank, I mean, I'm
exactly like it is. Just they up the price by $10.
I probably wouldn't pay it. No.
Okay, I would. Because like right now, I legit think that Game Pass is a steal. A lot of that is based on the promise of first-party games coming, like we said, in 2 to 3 years. They're going to be on fire. But Game Pass is like they do a good job of keeping the service current, right? Like there's not a bunch of 50-year-old games in there. They do a good job of keeping it fresh.
What'd you say? There's not a lot of what games, Code? A lot of 50.
Old
50-year-old games?
Yeah, like
you would know those games. None of us on the panel do.
But I think there is a threshold. I'm not listening to you, Taco Boy. I think there is a threshold beyond which, like, there is a price where the service is no longer attractive. And of course, that'll be different for each person. But the writing is on the wall. Game Pass is the next price that's going to go up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. 100%. I wish
but Cole,
I don't want him to do it, but it's going to happen.
A person like me, right? Where is I'll do Game Pass this month, and then my subscription is gone because I do the whole month-to-month thing. I may not use it for another 3 months, and then so I'll do, I'll get it again. So it just depends. I'm not a consistent. They don't have the games for me for it to be consistent for me to buy a year or 2 years or anything like that. So I'm a month to month, wait and see. I think they got the medium coming out soon. So guess what? I'm going to get Game Pass in for that month, play it, beat games, see what else they have. If not, let my subscription.
You gonna play it on your PC?
Go, and I'll just play it by ear like that.
Yeah.
You gonna play the medium on your PC, Jay?
Yeah, buddy.
Best place to play.
Yeah. So right now,
That's where I feel want me.
My Game Pass is paid up to 2023, and I've only ever paid $1 for it.
Yeah, mine's till 2022, and I just stacked up though on some sales when they had Black Friday stuff. So
I only do Microsoft reward points, and I have 100,000 of them waiting to be used again to take it another 2 or 3 years.
Nice.
Every so often they offer that little Game Pass Ultimate bundle. You get it like 30% off or something, and I just buy 2 or 3 years. They only let you buy ahead so far, so I had reached that limit. I'm sure I can buy more now.
Yeah,
but the is like so far I haven't actually had to use real money for Game Pass. I think the service is fabulous, but pretty soon we're gonna have to start paying for it for real, and then at that point I'm gonna have to make a decision if it's actually still worth the value or not.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's I mean, I hear you, Code. I mean, that's where I would be if they jacked it up to 25, after my current subscription ended. So but I do need to wrap up the show. I think we lost J-Dub. I don't know if Jay had to go. I know you got to go, Code, and I know Forte's got to get to work, but want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat who came out and hung out with us today to talk about Microsoft reversing their decision with Xbox Live Gold. Appreciate the support as always. If you're new to the channel, hit that, consider subscribing, hit that bell notification so you're notified when we go live, and hit the like button too. Let's get some likes in here. I think we only have 64 likes. We got well over 100 people watching, so hit that like button. Certainly appreciate the support. And Code, always a pleasure, man. Glad you could make it. Appreciate you coming on, man, and shoot the shit.
It's fun being here, Taco Boy.
Oh my god, man, you're bad, man. That's terrible. That's terrible.
I can't believe that you deliberately used to go and lie to the American public just to defend Xbox.
I did. I'm not Code. I'm not making this up, man. And I could tell you, bro, I used to abuse my moderator powers where I used to like ban people if they said stuff that I thought I didn't like about Xbox. Like they were being critical about Xbox, I would like ban them.
You need help, sir.
I'm telling you, dude, I'm telling you, it's like a cult, man. I'm telling you, I'm not making this up, man. I'm being for real. This is 20 years ago. So that different BRAP back then than BRAP today. BRAP just likes to, drink his tequila and eat his tacos, and play video games. So, big shout out to J-Dub. I think Jay had to leave, and always a pleasure having him on. And a big shout out to my man, Gaby Forte. Congrats again on the Casa, man. That's awesome. Appreciate you coming through, bro.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a great weekend.
Yeah. Congrats on the new crib there, Forte.
Oh man, I'll take pictures of it. We move in on the 20th. No, we move on the 12th, February 12th.
That's what's up, man. Hey, there's gonna be a lot to do. Do not underestimate how much work it's gonna take to get everything packed up and moved out.
That's why I took the whole week off from work.
Yeah, get started right now, man. It is
a lot.
Well, as soon as the people, we gave them until they moving out next week. So the week that they move out, basically I'm gonna be going back and forth to the house over the course of that 2 weeks before we move in to get everything together.
Yep. Congrats, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
That's awesome. And take pictures, and set up the RGBs. Looking forward to see the gaming room and all that good stuff, man.
I'm trying to look like Cole's room.
Man. Oh, Cole's got the players room. Cole, your room is immaculate.
In the show, Taco Boy. It's
immaculate. It's immaculate. Hey, I'm trying to give you props, Code.
I don't need no props. I need the show over with so I can go get Taco.
No, you need props. Hold you up. All right. On that note, we are out. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.